All right, good morning. We are in Lombard today, and we're doing a really neat project here. It's kind of I would say, a garage floor makeover. We're gonna be doing a little bit of lifting, and we're gonna finish the job with a beautiful floor coating. Let's go take a look. All right, so as you can see here, they have a one-car garage, and what we're gonna be doing here is, first off, these guys here, Ivan and Mikey, they're gonna be lifting this floor so that it is a nice, even surface. Right now, you can see that it's sunken, it's cracked, not something that you wanna put a coating over. We have the capabilities of fixing this before we actually do the coating. So today they're gonna be lifting the floor. They also have a nice little bump between their driveway and their garage. We're gonna be lifting that as well. And we're also gonna seal the gap between the driveway and the garage with some silicone caulk when we're all done to finish off the job. Once all the lifting's done, our coating crew is gonna be here in a few hours. They're gonna start grinding the floor, priming the floor, flaking it, and then tomorrow we're gonna come back and put a top coat on it. So a lot going on here. It's gonna be a great transformation. Stay tuned and keep watching until the end to see how this floor turns out. It's gonna be a really, really nice improvement. So our lifting crew just finished up lifting the garage floor as well as the driveway. Went real quick, real smooth as planned. So now if you want to come in over here and see this crack that was once probably a 1-inch difference is now perfectly level. It's nice and smooth. So they came into the polylift system on this. A great solution. Now we're going to coat this floor, okay? Our coating crew is going to be arriving shortly. They're going to come in here, they're going to grind the whole floor down. Very important to do that to open up the pores of the concrete. Once we get this floor down to the right profile that we want, we're going to fix all of the holes and the cracks. So this big crack right here, we're going to fill this with some mender. That mender is going to set up in like 20 minutes and it's going to be rock hard. Same thing, any other holes that we see around here, the guys will repair that. They're then going to put down a primer. So on this particular project, we're using what's called polyurea. Polyurea is similar to epoxy in terms of what it does and how it looks. However, polyurea has a benefit that it's very flexible, whereas epoxy isn't. So this floor flexibility is important because you have this crack here. We don't want this crack to move and crack the beautiful coating. So we're doing a polyurea base coat. The guys are gonna also then throw the flake. This customer chose Coastline, which is gonna match the house really well. You'll see that at the end. Then tomorrow we're gonna come back, we're gonna put what's called a polyaspartic top coat. That's the clear, basically a sealer, you could say. It's gonna go on top of the flakes, it's gonna lock everything up, it's gonna give you a nice protective top coat. Polyaspartic is a really good material. It's very scratch resistant. It's UV stable, so it won't turn yellow with the sunlight. It also has some flexibility to it as well. So this is going to be a beautiful, long-lasting floor when we're all done. We could typically do a garage like this in one day because it's just a one car. However, because of the lifting that we had to do, we're extending it to 2 days to make sure that we're not rushing any of the process. So we are here on day 2 of the garage floor transformation, and day 2 we're applying the top coat. Now I mentioned before what we're using is a polyaspartic top coat. Now if you are looking at getting a garage floor coating, you kind of have you need to know kind of the difference between the different materials. So for a top coat, the 2 most common materials are going to be epoxy and polyaspartic, and both are really going to look the same, but there's some key differences in the performance of the 2. So epoxy is applied the same way as polyaspartic, and it's been used a long time. People are very familiar with epoxy, but the drawback to an epoxy as a top coat is that it's not UV stable, meaning the sun will start to kind of yellow the top coat. after a while. And with the garage, you have, you know, the front of it exposed to sunlight. If you have windows, that's gonna bring in sunlight. So epoxy as a top coat is really not a good idea to do anymore. Now what's being used is polyaspartic. Polyaspartic is UV stable. It's also a little bit more scratch resistant, chemical resistant. Overall, a much better top coat than epoxy. There is a cost difference, not significant, but you get a much longer lasting garage floor when using polyaspartic as your top coat. That's what we're doing here. That's what we do on all of our jobs, is a polyaspartic top coat for the garage. So it's important that you use the right materials. If you do the right prep work and you use the right materials, a coating should have no problem lasting at least 20 years with proper maintenance and care. So these guys are finishing up the floor here. It's looking amazing. They're putting down the polyaspartic, and in a bit we're going to show you the final product. It's going to be an amazing transformation here. It's the final day here. The guys just left. I'm going to check out the work. I'm excited to see the end result here. So let's go take a look. Wow. It's pretty amazing. You know, we do this every single day, and every single day when I see a finished floor, it just, you know, it just makes me realize how awesome this process is. So, I mean, this floor is basically a showroom, you know. It is a perfect floor. The guys did a great job. Just to kind of recap how we got here, this floor was the original floor when they built this house back probably in the 50s, early 60s. Had a giant crack down the middle. Surface was okay shape, but it was just an uneven, unsafe surface. There was also a big bump going into the garage. Our lifting crew came. They lifted the garage floor, they lifted the driveway, everything is back at the original height. Our coatings crew followed them. They came in here and they did a great job prepping this floor by diamond grinding it all. They repaired the cracks, they repaired the holes. They put down a polyurea base coat. They flaked it with a 1/4-inch coastline flake. And then our guys came this morning and finished it off with a polyaspartic top coat to give it that showroom shine and that durability that's gonna last as long as this customer lives in this house. It's gonna be, I mean, what an improvement, what an amazing transformation to the garage, you know, and it took a day and a half to complete. Huge value gain to the property. This is a awesome improvement that the customer made. So I'm happy, customer's happy. Time to move on to the next job.